Okay, so let's go to different types of testing. So we'll complete this, our testings by today, and we'll just move to an application. Okay, so here there's something called acceptance testing. Okay, so now here, so there's more. This is generic term. Acceptance testing is generic. This more specific to this is user acceptance testing. Okay, so what is UAT? So there is this is a different team performs UAT testing. Okay, it's actually UAT. User acceptance testing. So this is completely different from manual testing. Although they have same requirements, they have their own test cases. Okay, they will be doing their own test cases, and they will be executing their own test cases. So it's nothing to do with manual testing. Okay, so those guys normally it's a different team, but it's based on project. Even if they have, they will be also working with manual guys. Okay. So what does it do? So this does to verify system meets customer specified requirements. Okay, what does this acceptance testing do? So they verify the system meets the customer specified requirements. Okay, so here, right, so customer, so here's the thing, so customer may not be always end user. Okay, so see, customers can be companies too. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say there is a company. Okay, and the customer is, so one company, and the customer, let's say IBM will be using that software. Okay, so one company has designing some software, but other company, okay, will be using that. Okay, let's say IBM, and IBM uses some other software and they want to use it. So in that case, customer becomes IBM, right? So in what happens? So this, let's say they don't like something, right? They don't see this is not the way. You know what, we want this particular module. We want this modules here, this modules there, so on. So what happens? Then the customer actually gives the requirements. Okay, customer gives the requirements to them to work on it. So that is called customer specified requirements. Does it make sense? Okay, so it's not, so it's customer doesn't mean always an individual, or it doesn't mean always end user. It also sometimes be companies too. Okay, so in that case, this acceptance testing will be done by those specified trained people. Okay, UAT, UAT. So what they will see that so I'm muting everyone. Okay, if anyone have any questions, they can unmute the mic, and we can. Okay, so that's what is called acceptance testing. Okay, to verify the system meets the customer specified requirements. Okay, customer gives the requirements for them. I mean, not exactly requirements. It's like there are some specific things to be changed or to be added new. Okay, so in that case, you do this acceptance testing. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So okay, let's talk about this performance testing. So this performance testing is classified into two types, that is load testing and stress testing. Okay, so what is this? So what, let's, before going to this, we'll go a little bit more detail. Okay, why do we need this performance system? Okay, so here, let's take Amazon.com. Okay, see, performance testing is here. This is non-functional testing. You are not testing any functionality of this application here. Okay, so we are not worried about the functionality. What you are trying to test here is performance of this application. Okay, so now let's take an example here. What happens, right? Let's say Amazon.com. Amazon.com buys a new server. Okay, so because they have to, put this on web applications, right? So all this, what you're seeing here, it's in the database, right? Everything is there in the server. So that's how you were able to see it. Okay, so now Amazon buys a new server, and and the server has some limitations. Okay, let's say server can handle only 50 users. Okay, and they put all these things set up, and now everything is good. So server has like only 50 users, and and the people, people will be accessing this URLs, Amazon.com, and this is all over the world. Okay, not just US or something. It's all over the world, and unless it is it is blocked, or it is blocked by the government, or it's blocked. If anyone in the world, anyone who has internet can access this Amazon.com. Okay. Okay, so now they bought a server, and this limitation is 50 users. Okay, now let me ask you this question. So what happens when more than 50 users, let's say 100 people are accessing this? Just accessing. I mean, we are not clicking any buttons here. Okay, we are not doing anything. Just 100 people are using this URL at the same point of time. Okay, 100 people are using this, just using that, putting in the browser and hitting enter. So my question is, so no, I mean, it's not like you can know the user limitation. I'm just saying it. I'm just giving an example. Like it will be in thousands. Okay, so 2,000. The server can access thousands to thousands. It's based on server specifications. Nobody, you cannot just tell how much the user will be. But what I'm saying is, it's completely based on server specification, because IBM has their own server specification, and HP servers are own different. So all these are completely different. So it's just I'm just taking an example here. Okay, so the question is, when I'm using this, let's take an example. 100 people are using it instead of 50. Server capability is only 50. Can anyone say what happens? And we are not even touching all this. We're just not clicking these buttons. We're doing nothing. Just using this URL and putting it in the browser and hitting enter. Application will be slow. Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay, good. There are 10 people and only one response. Anyone else? Application may crash. Okay, good. Anyone? Okay, so application be lost. Okay, so here's the thing. So yeah, application can be slow, because a lot of people are accessing. See what happens, right? What happens when the user is trying to use this? There is a lot of resources that is utilizing at backend. Okay, so what happens? The server gets heat up, right? The processor runs very fast because it cannot process that much of information at that point of time. Okay, and it consumes a lot of memory, right? It consumes a lot of memory because a lot of people are trying to access, to put a hold on those users. Okay, a lot of things, and it's actually the most important thing is access a lot of RAM. Okay, it uses a lot of RAM in the server, right? Because a lot of things are being used up. No, a lot of people are using it. So that's what happens. So what happens? A lot of people keep on using it. Yes, the server can blow up. The server can can go out, and you're not able to access the application. Okay, so yes, that's at one point of time that is correct. That application will not respond, and it shows that your internet browser cannot display. Why? Because the server has gone. It's blown up because too many people are accessing at that point of time, and the server cannot process that amount of information at that point of time. And Now it doesn't respond. It's it's the application may go offline. Okay, so that's what it happens. Okay, so it's not good to there's nothing like unlimited, right? You cannot have unlimited. You know that server has some specification. You have to use that one. Okay, so what happens, right? Let's say Amazon wants one more server. Okay, now there's something called load balancer. Okay, this can be hardware and as well as software. And what does this load balancer does? Let's say there are 100 people who are accessing that particular server. This load balancer puts the remaining 50 to the another server. Now it balances the load, right? And that's called load balancer. Okay. So that's how it works, right? At the back end, that's how it works. So that's this is all called non-functional testing. Okay, this is all non-functional and it's called performance testing. So let's get back to here. So what is performance testing? Performance testing is to identify. Okay, so here you see this. It's divided into two types. That is load testing and stress testing. Okay. Now load testing. Let's go to here. Load testing. Load testing is to identify the bottleneck of an application. Okay. So what you're trying to do here, you're trying to put a heavy load. Okay. Heavy load. Such as testing website, a lot of people are accessing, thousands of people are accessing it, then and a lot of things. So that's what you're putting load. When a lot of people are using it, that means it's a load. Okay, it's load to the server, and you want to see how the application is responding based on that load. It's actually peak time. So let's say this is 9 to 12 or 12 to 3. There's a lot of people. So it's kind of peak time. How many people are accessing it? So all these actually are. The graph is plotted. So what you do here, load testing is actually a tool. Okay, they use a tool like Load UI or Load Runner or any other tool, and you plot the graphs. Okay, a lot of graphs like throughput. What is the throughput? What the RAM usage? The processor, how the processor is running, and if this most of the time it would be Unix. So Unix, how is the Unix operating system is working? So all those things. So if the graphs are plotted and would be, then you have to go submit to the lead, and lead says this, and submit to the manager to see what's going on with this. Okay, so that's what is called load testing. Okay, to identify the bottleneck of an application, it's called load testing. Okay, let's go to here. Next one, this thing called stress testing. Okay, now here what happens, right? Now you want to do stress testing. That means so far we are only discussing about only putting the URL in the browser and hitting enter, and 1,000 people are doing it at that one point of time. Okay, so that was load, so that's good. Stress testing is beyond, you're going beyond the load. That means all those 1,000 people are now accessing this. Now they are clicking these buttons, doing all kind of transactions, a lot of transactions at the same amount of time. So that's called stress, because lot of not even just accessing the URL, but you're also clicking those buttons, navigating it, making the transactions on Amazon.com, and 1,000 people are doing it that same amount of time. Okay, so that's called stress testing. So here's the thing how it works. See this, I just wanted to let you know just how this front end and back end is related. Okay, so I didn't explain on that. Okay, so here whatever you're seeing, right? See, whatever you're looking here is actually is in the back end, right? Okay, so that means whatever you're looking is there in the database. Okay, so let's say if you're clicking this button, what happens, right? It generates a SQL query to the back end and executes that query for that database, and whatever the information stored in that database, puts out and shows up right in front of you. Let's say I'm clicking this button, this this keyboard. Let's say this keyboard. I'm clicking this button. Now, what happened back end was that SQL got it. See, nobody is typing SQL manually. It's a production. Everything is automated. Okay. Now, what happens? It generates automatic SQL and execute the SQL in the server and in the server database, whatever the database they are using, Oracle or Teradata or DB2, it doesn't matter because it's executed by itself. And once you execute it, you see this URL got changed completely. This is a completely different URL. That means that information was stored in that URL and that's in some particular different database. Okay. Now, once you're doing this, this is showing up. Okay. So everything is stored in a database. That's how you are able to see it. If there was no database, then you see nothing here. Okay. So that's how this front end and back end is related to each other. Okay. Does it make sense? So all this, okay. So these, that's called stress testing. That means, not even just load, but you're also performing large number of, look at this, putting large number of storage capacity. Okay, that's done in the server side. Nobody's doing manually here. It's automated. Complex database queries. That means you are clicking too many buttons. Okay, that means you're clicking this and you have to wait again. You're clicking this. You're taking some time, right? Clicking this add to cart. Okay, all this, and you're clicking this button. So this is complex database queries. Okay, that means whenever you're clicking button, that means query is generated, executes to that database and to that particular server. The result is showing up. So that means complex database queries. Okay, not that somebody is doing manually. Okay, it's automated. Then continuous input and output system to database load. That means people keep on adding to that. Okay, that means there were 1,000 people. Now it was like 1,100 people suddenly came up, and now they're doing transactions. So all this is called stress testing. Okay, and again, this is a lot of graphs are plotted here. Okay, similarly, like you do for the load testing, similarly it will be there for stress. Okay, throughput and input and output system, and usage, memory usage, RAM, operating system, all those things will be plotted in this load testing as well as stress testing. And again, you need, so this is not done manually. You need a tool to generate that kind of users. Okay, you don't have real-time users, right? So that tool automatically generates, let's say, 1,000 people. Now it automatically generates 1,000 virtual users. So that's called virtual users. That tool helps you out to put the load, amount of load, how much 1,000 people would generate. It could put the load that much amount of people. Okay, so that's load runner is one of the example from HP load runner. Okay, that helps you to perform your load testing. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's go to the usability testing. So somebody asked a question, right? With these tools, can you add as many large users as you want? Yes, but there's a catch. You have to pay a license fee for that. Every 1,000 users, you have this license fee. Okay, so this is done by the corporate people, so not individual. So all this will be taken care by the corporate, corporate people. So yes, you can add as number of users as you want, but you have to pay a license for that. But I think for Load UI, there is one more open source tool. I don't think it is required for that, but it has some limitation. You cannot put some, 100,000 users something, but still it's you can still have that amount of users. Okay. So load runner, you need to have license to use that many users. If you don't have license, you cannot use it. But for other open source tools, yes, you can use, but there are some limitations for that. Okay, so let's go to next one. So usability testing. So here what you do is user friendliness check. What you do is user friendliness check. Okay, so what you're trying to do here, let's say application flow is tested and a new user understands the application is, okay, good. Let's take an example here, okay? Here, let's say I'm you know what, I'm a customer of Amazon. Let's say I'm a customer of Amazon and I want to buy something. Okay. Now, I want this user friendly. This application should be user friendly. That means I'm a new. Let's say I'm a new to this Amazon account, and I want to become a customer and I want to buy from Amazon. So you know what? Let's say I'm trying to buy so many things, like 3 to 4 things, and I want to track it and all those things. Now I want to sign in, right? I want to sign in. That means I want to make an account with Amazon, and I want to buy because I want to buy a lot of things, not one or two. And so I don't want. So there's a guest checkout too. Maybe they have guest checkout or some don't. So, but I'm interested in signing because I would know the tracking number and all those things. So now what I'm looking here is sign in button. Okay, good. So it's right in here, right in front of my face. Okay, that is user friendly. Now, now because I want to sign in. Now I want to sign in, but let's say that button is somewhere here. Let's say somewhere here, the footer of the page. How would I know? Right? That is not user friendly because the moment the customer looks, these are the top priority buttons that a customer looks. I'm just giving an example. It's not necessary it has to be this way, but what I'm saying is how user friendly that application is. That means if a new user comes and if there is no button here, there's no sign in button. Where is sign in button? I cannot sign in. I don't know which account. I don't want to use this site. So business is getting low. Business is lost here, right? So user friendliness is very important. Okay. If there is no user friendliness, no people will go to some other place, let's say eBay. They'll buy. No, we don't want Amazon because it's not user friendly. I don't know where is sign in button. I know there is no orders. I cannot see where my orders are. Okay, so I will not buy from this company. I'll go from another company. So that's a user friendliness. Okay, this is an example for signing buttons. Not just signing buttons, a lot of things. Okay, but that's what you will be checking here. Application flow is tested, and a new user, let's say a new user want to see this, how user friendly it will be, okay, for them. So basically system navigation is tested in this usability testing. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So there's something called install and uninstall testing. Okay, so now this is again more related to client applications, not web. So normally for client application, that means you have to, let's say you have some exe file. Okay, I mean if you're in Windows, okay, if in Mac there's again different format of file. Okay, and again if in Unix there's again different file formats. Okay, so here you want to install an application. So any operating system, any device, you have to install it, right? So once you install it, okay, you want to see the testing, okay, how it's going, how many DLL files are getting updated, or the registry key is getting updated, and what are the files got included. So all this, you get it once you do install and uninstall. Okay. So to test that is called install and uninstall testing. Okay. Again, this is all done in keeping in mind the requirement. So what's the requirement is what you're trying to do. Okay, you cannot just do just randomly anything what you want. There is a requirement for that, and if you don't understand, you have to approach your lead and see what you're trying to check and what you're trying to test in that. Okay, so that's what your first priority will be. You have to look always documents. Without looking documents, you cannot perform anything. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So there's something called recovery testing. Okay, to test how soon a system recovers from the crashes. Okay, or any failures. Okay, so that's called recovery testing. Let's say the application got crashed. Okay, how soon it recovers automatically? Normally it's automatically, but if there are any manual tools, you can use a manual tool, but you have to test. It's a recovery, right? So how soon it gets recovered? So that's called recovery testing. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Security testing. So here what you're trying to base is security of an application. Let's take an example, application, okay, web application. Okay, so how well the system protects against unauthorized internal or external access. Okay, so okay, so let's say let's say I'm trying to go to google.com, and if you see here there is HTTPS, right? HTTP. So there was actually HTTP before anything. There was HTTP. That means hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, and just S means you cannot add S just like that. It's not just to add S. You cannot add it. It's actually HTTP. Okay, hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, S means secure. Okay, that's secure. So before it was HTTP, for Google.com was HTTP. Now everything they made is HTTPS. Now just by adding S doesn't mean that it becomes HTTPS. No. So what happens is there is a certificate that is installed, at backend. You see this? Okay, let's not worry about this. So this certificate is installed at this backend. Now what happens? So now what's the use of this? Okay, now if you are using only HTTP, okay, let's say you're only using HTTP and you're trying to Google online. Okay, as a matter of fact, if you're making any transaction online, so it's not good. HTTP, because it's open to the world. Any hacker, any guy who is, there's so many people, right? So many people might even, there's the people who will hack on HTTPS. Forget about HTTP. Okay, so but here, HTTP, what happens is you are just using, okay, you're making transactions, and the moment you make transactions, somebody is looking into your, because they can quote your, IP address and see what you're trying to do, so all those things. So what happens, right? So all this information gets stolen. Your SSN, your credit card number, okay, and what they're trying to do, what they're trying to order, okay, they can change the address and all those things. So that's really not good. Okay? That's not good because everything is open, everything's open, and they just put the IP address in it and see what's going on and see everything. So that's not good. So now there's something HTTPS. So what happens in HTTPS is when you're trying to do any transactions online, it gets encrypted. That means any information what you're trying to put gets encrypted, and they have some algorithm, a 12-bit algorithm, 256, 128-bit algorithm, 256-bit algorithm, so all those things. Now what happens, it gets encrypted. Whatever you're trying to put, your credit card, your SSN, and whatever, it gets encrypted, and only it can decrypt at Google server. Let's say if you're doing on the Google, it's only can be decrypted at a Google server, but not in any other server. Okay. Now, even if the hacker gets all the information, it's useless, pretty much useless, because everything has been encrypted. That numbers, doesn't show up in normal numbers. Okay, those credit card information is something gets into 1000-digit code. Okay, we don't know what this 1000-digit code. Okay, so all those things, and they don't know the algorithm, how it's been, encrypted. So when you don't know the algorithm, you cannot do anything else. So that's the secure part. Okay, it's not just putting it secure. So that's security. This is called, to test those things, is called security testing. Okay, so how you see this? Our system can be penetrated in hacking way testing. How well system protects against unauthorized internal or external access is called security testing. I mean, this is just an example, but there are many other security testing that that can be performed. Okay, let's go to next one pretty quick. Any questions so far? Anyone have any questions? Okay, so this. Okay, good. So there is something called compatibility testing. Okay, so compatible name itself, right? Is it compatible? I mean, let's say if let's say you want to use some browser with Google Chrome. Now you know what? Whenever you are using any other operating system, let's say you are using this Windows, you're using this Mac, you're using this Unix. Now, whenever you go to their website, it automatically, detects which operating system you're using it, and it automatically navigates that page into particular operating, and you can download your phone. This is compatible. Okay, so that means how how it is compatible software, operating system, network environment, different combinations. Okay, so to test that is called compatibility testing. Okay, let's go to the next one. Comparison testing. So you want to compare the products of strength and weakness of different versions. Let's say there's same application, different version. Okay, you want to see which version is better. Okay, same application, different version, because they added some new features. There were some bugs. They fixed that bugs. So that becomes a different version, right? So they want to see which version is good. Okay, so you want to compare this two. It's called comparison testing. Okay, now let's go to the next one. This is called alpha testing. So in this alpha testing, right, this is normally it is done after development. Let's say development is completed. Now, it's a developer job. Normally, it can be that developer job will test it. Okay, again, even if developer is doing, they will be doing the code point of view. So they will be doing their own way of. They have their own way of doing this. Okay, so once the development is completed and they have to check out the code. Now, I'm sorry, checking the code to the dev environment. Okay, once before checking the code to the dev environment, they want to do this alpha testing. So that's called alpha testing. Okay, so here what you have done is virtual user or environment. So testing is done at the end of the development. Okay, so here what happens is anyone who is involved in the project can do this alpha testing. Okay, but normally it's developer, but you can it can be BA business analysts do their own testing. Okay, because they will see is this as per their business. Does the business really want such kind of application, or there are any issues with this? Okay, so they have their own way of doing, and testers, testers of course do their own testing. So all this can be done in the alpha testing. Okay, normally it's the end of the development. Testers are not involved in that technically, but developers are more responsible on this one. But again, it's based on project, how the project is, designed. That's how you have to perform. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the term in-house means the same company. That means you're not leaving company. Okay, so here's here it can be an option here. So let's say they design some product, right? Let's say the company has designed a product for IBM. Okay, now one company, let's say X company, design some product for IBM. Now the X company is in-house. That means they have to test by the X company, not from IBM. IBM will not be doing this testing. So that's what it means by in-house version. That means the person who actually design the software is the own company, X company. Okay, so that's what it means by in-house. Okay, so let's move to the next one pretty quick. So beta testing. So there is something called beta testing, which is done by the end users. That means what this company does, they know, okay, development people tested this, they don't trust developers. Testers, tested this application, they don't trust testers. Now, regression people tested it, now they don't test regression people. So company doesn't trust. Okay, now there can be still bugs, man, don't worry about it. Let user find the bugs. Okay, let user find the bugs. That means they will release to the whole world. Okay, testing that. Why don't you see this? So there will be demo application, not full version. Demo application will tell us users, end users, to why don't you use this? And if you find any defects, why don't you report us? Okay, so that's called beta testing, because it is typically done by the end users. Okay. So that's pretty much about this. We are done with the introduction. Different types of testing. Any questions so far? Okay, so Now let's go to here. Okay, so let's say this is your first day of your work. Okay, let's imagine um, that this is your first day of your work and you don't know what to do, right? Okay, now you'll be giving a lot of documents. You have to read all the documents. It might be in a SharePoint. It might be they might have printed for you. You're lucky. You got a good boss, good lead. That's very good. You're lucky, and they gave you a lot of documents to read. That's good. Now, what happens is, now let's say your lead says, hey, you know what? Why don't you start some testing here? Now this is the application. Now, they didn't give application for you. Um, and okay, they didn't say any application, which application. So you figure it out yourself. Or you look in the documents, you see this is the application. Or you talk to your colleagues, okay? Or you make friends, they talk, okay, so this is what you're going to test and all those things. Okay, so that's good. So everything went good, and this you found out this is application. Okay, great. Now you check with the lead. So you know what, this is what we are testing, and we are going to do this. Okay. Now your lead says, why don't you start some testing here? This is already in test environment. We move this from dev to test, and you're good to go. You can start your testing. Now you cannot ask some question to your lead saying what I need to test. Now, that's really not a valid question. Let me tell you. Now, you cannot ask your lead what I need to test. Now, hiring an experienced candidate, now this really doesn't. It's not an appropriate question. Okay, now, you are supposed to know. So we have learned a lot of testing here, right? Remember, we have gone through bunch of testing, so you know what you need to do. You are a QA guy. Okay, they are not going to tell what to do. You're supposed to know what to do. Okay, so as a matter of fact, we will be testing everything here, almost everything, except performance is not our job, regression not our job, we leave that alone. Okay, here, what the valid question would be like, are we trying to perform every testing? So that you need to ask. Are we trying to do everything, performance, regression, or is just the functional? How is it? Are we also doing smoke testing, sanity testing also? So that's a valid question to ask. But this is not really a question, what I need to test. That's really not good question. It's not appropriate question at that time. Okay, to your leads, that gives a wrong impression. Okay. Oh man, this guy don't know anything. No, they'll find out. Okay, the guy don't know anything is kind of you know inappropriate questions. Okay, so once you check with, you're good to go. Now, no, as a tester, now you have to test everything, right? You have to test everything. That's what. So we are going to test everything. Okay, so let's go here. Let's try to make an, let's see what's happening. So I'm clicking this button. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is a retail company. Okay, that's great. That means they sell some things. Okay, and okay, so I'm going to order here and see what's happening and see what you're trying to do. Put some quantity here. Okay, place an order. Okay, this looks good. Proceed with order. Great. And I'll just fill up my information here. Express. And we'll set your meeting. Okay. I don't want to put the same billing address is same as shipping address, so no big deal. Just putting it yes and place an order. Okay, great. Now, what happens is that means some quantity will be shipping to my address. So this is my shipping address, and billing is this one. So this will I'll be getting billed for this, and this is my receipt. Okay, this is my online receipt, and this is what it is. Okay, so we just bought something, right? We just bought. Now, question to you: did you find any bugs so far? Did you find any issues? Any bug? Okay. Okay. No. Yes. Because that's correct. Because we went so fast, you're not able to see what's. Okay. I can understand that we went so fast that you're not able to see what is what, and that's fine. Perfectly fine. So you don't have to, see any bugs at that time. That's okay. Okay. I went too fast, and you're not able to grasp what was there. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, even I cannot find it just by using one. You know, just using just adding 10, you're not able to find any. So no one can able to do it. Okay. So now let's go in detail level. Okay. Okay. Now, now I want everyone to be proactive here. Okay, this is very important. This is what you will be doing. Okay, this may not be doing at work, but the process will be similar. Okay, so make sure I need everyone to be pay attention for this. Okay, everyone has to be proactive here. Okay, not just one or two people. Okay, so yeah, look at this. Now this is very important. Now, before buying anything, I'm trying to order a large quantity here. Okay, that means this many orders I'm trying to order right now. Okay, right? You see this number is large quantity. Okay, great. Why I'm doing testing? So, testing. I have to perform everything, right? I'm doing testing here. Okay, so place an order. Okay, that's great. Now look at this. Can anyone see any bugs here? So there is an issue here. So I want everyone to be proactive here, okay? So you need to see what's going on here. So I'm trying to order in large quantities here, okay? And I want you guys to find a issue here. So there's so many issues, okay? Not so many, few of them, but just I need some answer here. What's the issue here? Anyone? Okay, great. Shipping is still the same amount. Okay, that's a good catch. Anyone else? Anyone else and anything else? I mean, there can be so many other issues too. Okay, the shipping is good. That's a right answer. Anyone else find anything? No back button. So we'll discuss about this because here there was instruction. Use browser's back button. Okay. So BA doesn't want back button because there's some issue in that. Let's say they don't want to use this back button. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. At least you are saying some answer. That's good. Remaining people are not saying any answer. So business guys still say that no, we don't need back button. Why don't you use this browser back button? Okay, that is reasonable. So they don't want to use any back button here. Any others? Only two people. Okay. So shipping handling is one of these I'd say issue. If I don't want to say bug, no, I don't want to say bug because it might be a bug, it may not be a bug, okay? Because I don't, see, just because you found something doesn't mean it's a bug. So that's what you have to remember. You found something, you have to coordinate with your lead. Without coordination, it's really not a bug. You need to, okay. So the reason why, right? Let's say if you think like shipping and handling, yeah, it's showing the $5. I'll open this bug and go just open the rally and just open the bug. The next thing what happens is, right, you get a call from your boss. Just get a call. Hey, you know what? Can you stop by at my desk? Okay. So now you get some kind of things that means you're really in trouble. Okay. So you open some bug there. You said yes. Who told you to open this bug? Right? The first question will be from your boss. Who told you to open this bug? Right? You just, just because you found some bug, you thought it is a bug and you open this bug and this is what the question you get from your boss and you have no answer for this, right? So keep in mind, you have to always coordinate. Without coordination, you are doing nothing there, okay? Okay, so shipping and handling, $5. Now, even if I have to take this, you want to explain that, even if you are shipping at USPS, these many large quantities, $5 doesn't make any sense. USPS doesn't accept just for even if you're, the economical prices from USPS, right? Even FedEx, it takes more, the charges more, FedEx, UPS, okay? But here, these many large quantities is just $5 doesn't make any sense. Although company might, give you for free shipping because you're ordering so many quantities, you're making profit for the company. So what they'll say, oh no, you know what, we'll just $100, more than $100, you're good to go. It's free shipping for you. So this is a issue here. Okay, you want to talk to your lead, saying that, what, I'm trying to order these many large quantities and shipping and handling fee is showing $5. I think this is the issue. What, can I open a bug for this? Now, once your lead confirms that, it's a yes, you can open it. Only then you have to open this defect. Now, before that, no, we are not doing nothing. Okay. Okay. Another issue. Sales tax. You see the sales tax? Delaware doesn't have sales tax. Does it? Delaware doesn't have sales tax, right? So in that case, this amount is not valid if you are shopping in Delaware. Does it make sense to everyone? Okay. So sales tax. So what I'm talking about is sales tax. Okay. Delaware doesn't have sales tax. Okay. So this amount is really not valid if you are shopping in Delaware. Okay. So that could be an issue. So this has to get updated if you're, if your shipping address is, before it's shipping address. So they have to put some option here, in which state do you reside. If you reside in Delaware, then this should be 0. Right? Okay. So that can be an issue. Okay. So you need to check with your lead. Always you need to check with your lead, and you have to open defects. Okay. So let's go here. Okay. So let's say we'll talk about this one. So before even doing anything, you have to come up with scenarios. So this was just an example to show you how to open a defect. Okay, I'll be giving you homework by today. Okay, you guys need to complete your homework by tomorrow. Okay, if you're if you're lying something or if you didn't understand, go to the recordings, recordings, and look at this and see if anything makes sense for you. Okay, so here before doing anything, let's say you want to use this one. So you have to come up with scenarios. Okay, 3 types of scenarios. One is positive scenario, negative scenario, and boundary values. Okay. Once you come up with scenarios, then you need to start writing your test cases. So here we didn't start with test cases. We started with an application because you just want to know how this application is and how does it looks like. Okay. So that's what we didn't start. From tomorrow, we'll see this. Start writing our test cases. Okay. So 3 scenarios. Positive scenario, let's say what's the positive scenario here? That means this order quantity. Quantity is always in numbers. Okay, again, quantity cannot go in negative. So that means that any number which starts from 1, 2, 3, 4 is called positive scenarios. Okay, because you're using positive numbers here. Then negative scenario. Other than any, let's say any alphabets, so that's called negative negative scenarios because quantity cannot be in alphabets. It should be only in numbers, right? That's an example of negative scenario. The boundary values. Boundary values is like, let's say you're using decimal 0.001. Okay, that's boundary value. And somebody said that boundary values include range, so that's good. It also should be include some range from from one point from start range and end range. Okay, so you can use that too. Okay, so most probably boundary values will not be valid for this, but two things are important. That is positive scenarios and negative scenarios. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's go. Let's see if that was one defect. Okay, you guys didn't get hold of it. Let's say See, positive scenarios. See, here's the thing. There are three scenarios: positive scenario, negative scenario, and boundary values. Positive scenarios. See, here is an example. You see this quantity. Quantities are in numbers, not in alphabets, right? So all quantity will be numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means that's a positive scenario. Negative scenario is other than numbers. Okay, that's an alphabets. That's a negative scenario. Does it make sense? Okay. So let's take another example here, okay? Alphabets are negative scenarios in this case because here you see this, that's the reason I'm saying quantity. Quantity is in numbers. Do you find any quantity with alphabets? No, right? So that's the reason the alphabets will be negative here. This is particular scenario, not everywhere, okay? Now let's see here. If you are taking google.com and you're trying to test this edit bar, okay, now this alphabets is a positive scenario here, okay, so that's how it works. Here it's quantity. Quantity means it's in numbers, so that's how it will be only numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. Alphabets obviously will be a negative scenario because quantity doesn't come in alphabets. Okay, so let's take one more example here. Now let's see here. I'm clicking this 3% dome trend. So this is the information here. So I see this, 3% dome trend is in stock. It's only 23. That means company can ship only 23 quantities. Cannot go beyond that, right? Now what happens is, let's say I want to order some 100 quantities. So it's going through. So that means now you want to proceed with order and fill up all this information, and so you see this issue here. Does anyone recognize this issue? Can anyone say what the issue here is? Okay, so I don't think many people are paying attention here. Okay, as I told you, you have to be proactive. Without proactive, you can't do anything. Okay, so here, yes, that's right. You are ordering more than 100 quantity. Okay, you are ordering more than 100 quantity. So, but company can only ship 23, right? It's only 23. Now, even if you're paying for 100, you're paying for 100, right? This is the total amount, and but you'll be getting only 23 items because there is no item, it's only 23. So it's a backlog, right? So what happens is you paid for this much amount, and the customer gets only 23, and customer is frustrated, saying what's happening, they call the customer care, they don't respond, they send emails, they don't respond, nothing is happening. Now the other guy is too much frustrated, saying that these guys don't respond and they charge me this much amount of money and they only ship 23 items. Now what this guy will do is just put a lawsuit. Okay, now this will go big. Okay, now company will be spending more than actually what it got profit, right? Now this is what business is losing here. Does it make sense? Okay, so this is what business is losing. So that means you cannot allow something which is already specified here, 23. Now customer didn't take notice of that, and say I want this, I want this large quantities, and go through it, and so that's a bug. This will surely be a bug. Okay, as a matter of fact, you have to check with your lead and business analyst how they want to do with this, but most probably, although you cannot open by yourself, you need to again check with your lead and whoever responsible developer or business analyst, and then you have to open bug. Okay, so that's one. Another, let's take one more defect. Okay, rest I'm giving homework. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to order some quantity A. No, not A. Stop. I'm using a different browser here. Okay, so I'll be ordering here. Let's say A. Now A is again native testing because there's nothing called A in quantity, right? And great. So it's getting some pop-up window saying please enter only digits. That's good. That means it's showing some issue there. But you know what? I ignored it and clicked on proceed. Now what happening is now quantity A is shipped at zero, charging $5 when you're not getting anything. And as a matter of fact, it's going into billing page. This is also a bug. Okay. So there are 3 bugs. Now, see, when coming up with the homeworks, please don't use, the same what I'm saying in the class. Okay. There's so many, keep saying this, people do the same thing. You have to come up with your own issue, own bug. Okay. I don't want what I've told in the class. I don't want that homework. Okay, that's very easy. Anyone can do it. Even I can do it. Okay. What I want is, go to the website. You have some good amount of time. Spend few hours. Okay. Won't even require few hours if you're doing it good. Okay. And come up at least one bug here. Okay. So you go ahead and use all these buttons and see what you can find. Okay. See what is the issue there. What you have to. So some people even found some issue in this catalog too. They said like there's, double information. That means there's information which is again repeating the same place. Okay, so that level of detail, you can go. Okay, so just don't, don't come up with now you told 53% problem. Now we're going Glacier sunglasses and see now this is a bug. No, I don't want such kind of answers because this all is related to all one issue. Okay, that means negative testing is failing. Any negative numbers, anything will be, it will be a similar bug. Okay, you cannot open multiple for this. All this will be similar. Even if you're using A for this, or if you're using B for this is not two defects, it's all one. So I don't want anyone to come up with same thing what I'm saying in the class. Does it make sense? Okay, good. So that's a very good question. Somebody asked, right? Does a website designed to have bugs? I don't know. Maybe they put some intentional bug, or maybe not. Okay. So, but it's really not. That's not the case here. What you need to is you need to find bugs. See, as a matter of fact, I told you, right? I even found a bug in Google.com. See this? Using this, and this is all gone. You maximize it. It's showing up here. But you see this footer? Now this is a production, Google.com, Google.com, right? So this is all showing up, but this is not, this is a bug. Okay, this is not, very serious, or it's not, groundbreaking bug or something, but it's very low. It comes in very low, but still, I would categorize it as a bug. As a QA, I'll take it as a bug. And that's in the production, Google.com is in production. So that's how it is. It's not necessary that they put intentionally bugs. They might have done, they may not, but that's really not the point. The point is how you can find the issue. So that's what you have to concentrate on, because at the end of the day, they hire you. So why do they hire you? They hire you because you have to find issues in an application. So that's your job. So if you're not able to find it now, it's no point, right? So you have to concentrate on that. Yes, this website may be designed, maybe not. So it's a, but obviously this website has so many bugs. Okay. So you have to focus on your observation skills, how you can observe this application and how you can find a bug in this. Okay, not just in this page. Okay, I'm saying you can go ahead with any other buttons, these three buttons, URLs. If you find any images, now you cannot come up with any. See, here's the thing. Now you cannot say that somebody, one of the previous classes, they said like, no, this, what, this image should be in left side, not right side. No, I'm not coming. I'm not taking those as a bug because we don't have really requirement for this. So all you have to deal with is this common sense. Okay, for now you have to work on common sense. Okay, so this is really, I did not take that as a bug because I don't have documents, so I'll not worry on that. Okay. Other than that, you have to look almost everything in the whole web page. Okay, it will take few hours, maybe let's say 2-3 hours. Okay, even you don't have to spend it consecutively. Just spend some time, let's say 20 minutes or 30 minutes, then come back after 2-3 hours and spend more 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That should be good. It's not necessary that consecutively you have to spend on this and look very ferociously. No, not required. Just see this and find one bug. All you need is one bug. Everyone, it should be unique. Okay, if you are working individually, it should be I'll see how unique is that, but other than that, you have to work on that. Any questions so far? So I'll be sending you the instructions. Okay, and you can follow those instructions. Okay, so if no questions, can we close this class for today? Okay, thank you guys.